force me to quit, so you can bring your own shipping clerk in? Good luck getting anything shipped. For about a year after I left college, I worked for a company that produced, among other things, toilet partitions, coffin springs, and hospital beds. I started at the lowest point as just a machine operator, and over the course of a year had been promoted to the position of head shipping clerk in their partition department. What that basically meant was I was in charge of making sure everything was shipped both on time and to the right shipper, as well as ensuring that rush orders were made before some of the more standard ones. Though on paper I reported to the department's manager, I was largely independent and treated as an equal by him and superior to the other employees. Most of my time was spent on a forklift, where I would move orders around and do paperwork to ensure everything went out as soon as it was ready. I also indirectly worked for my father, who was the plant manager for the metalwork side of things and only partially managed the partition plant. Whatever the case, when I took the promotion, I quickly found that everything was in a shambles. The previous clerk had a habit of shipping things either late or just not at all, and had given the company a serious black mark on its reputation. One of the first things I had done was establish a system where orders were kept. Those that were waiting parts or partial orders were kept in one area, those that were rush orders were kept in another, and last but not least regular orders also had their own staging. This kept everything separated and allowed me to figure out what needed to go out and when. Another aspect of this was my own coding system. I had developed a 3-letter code that told me what truck company was doing the shipping, what buyer was getting the product, and lastly, what the status of the order was. Along with this, I had a 3-digit number which told me the expected ship date. I know that's confusing, so here's a basic example. RSR 305. Just glancing at this code on the pallet of something going out would tell me that it was a shipment going out on roadway trucking for section, the supplier, and was a rush order. It was expected the 3rd day of June. So, using this system, I could easily and quickly get the products shipped out, even to the point we were getting things shipped early, which the contractors and suppliers loved. All was good until a new plant manager for the partition area was hired. This manager had ideas about how things would run, and chief among them was the fact that he saw no reason why the company should be paying $9 an hour, good paying $19.95, for a glorified forklift operator. On Friday, as I was finishing up the last order to go out that day, I was approached by the department's manager. He told me that there was bad things afoot and that the new plant manager had gone over several people's heads, my father and one of the vice presidents, to request that I be transferred out so he could bring someone else in. What's more, I wasn't being transferred to be a job I was qualified in. I had started as and qualified as a setup man and later journeyman machinist, but to a lowly and simple press operator. What's more, I would be getting a severe pay cut. The department manager said, curtly and simply, you should quit. It wasn't malicious on his part, but the mark of a true friend. So, I finished up what work I had, clocked out, and headed home. I told my father what was going on, and he was shocked that they had done that, but he supported my decision. I enjoyed the next couple weeks off, relaxing and just fooling around, and pretty much forgot about the way the company had treated me. Right up to when I got a phone call from that new plant manager. He wanted to speak to me as soon as possible, and was even offering to buy me lunch. Something was up. I could tell it. I declined the offer of lunch, but told him I'd try to swing by the next day, as I was really busy that Monday. I wasn't, but I hated the guy, and figured he needed to sweat. He basically whined that he needed to see me now, but eventually relented. When Tuesday rolled around, I headed up to the plant and waited for him to come get me. I hadn't sat waiting long when the owner's son, part owner and company president, came out of another office, saw me and just laughed before shaking his head and telling me to come see him after I talked with the plant manager. Not long after that, I was shown into the plant manager's office and he started laying things out. He said that a new position had opened up in the company for a shipping manager and that he thought of me first when the position opened up. I forget everything he was offering, but I got the impression that I was being handed anything and everything I could want. paid vacation leave, full severance pay for the last month I had been away from the company, ability to hire or fire as I saw fit, and I'd only report to him. I listened to all of this and wondered what the heck had happened. The last time I'd talked to the guy, he effectively hated me. Now he was giving me anything and everything I would want. I politely turned him down, informing him that I was in the process of opening my own contracting firm, using what I had learned at the company, but I didn't tell him that, and didn't want to deal with the hassle. So, no, I wasn't going to return. He looked totally defeated at that point, and I let myself out of his office. Heading out, I spoke with the owner's son, as I promised, and that's where the whole story was laid out to me. One of the vice presidents was related to the new plant manager and had requested he be hired. The new shipping clerk was the manager's son-in-law, and it turned out a right idiot. As if that wasn't enough, remember that system I had worked out and put in place? Well, apparently the guy couldn't find anything, and over the past month the company had missed nearly every single deadline it had promised to make, costing the company upwards of $250,000 in lost contracts and revenue. All because the new shipping clerk couldn't find anything. Everything was labeled according to my system, and the production floor had taken to adopting the system itself because it made things easy for them to track. The clerk, though, had no clue where any of the products to be shipped was, and on several occasions had sent the wrong orders out to various clients. Clients were calling for blood, managers were pissed, and the VP had been firmly, but politely, told to find another job. The plant manager himself was next on the chopping block and had been given another month to clean things up, or he was going to be fired. I had to laugh at this. Before I left, the owner's son offered me a settlement, 2 times what I would have earned over that 1 month after I left, if I would explain to him how my system worked, and agreed to train the next shipping clerk they hired, with compensation of course. It only took another week for both the plant manager and my former replacement to be out of the company, both fired for gross incompetence. I took a couple days to train the new shipping clerk and made sure to write up the entire procedure for any future use by the company. I never did find out, nor care to, what happened to that plant manager, but I can safely say that hubris is a dangerous thing. I suspect he learned a powerful lesson about why you don't piss off someone that is making your company profitable. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, hit like, get subscribed, and tell us your revenge story in the comment section, and support the original writers with upvotes, links in the description box.